How goes the family? Welcome back to Larry's Anything Goes. Hopefully you guys having a great and exceptional day. Give me 1 second. Thought I switched that up. I switched it up to the desert. All right, cool. Well, it's another beautiful day to be alive. All is well. Like I said, this will be my last live. Usually I don't do my lives back to back. I used to do them every week, but like I said, with 2024, the world being fully open again, it's like, not having the time like I used to have. Um, which I'm not complaining about. It could be worse. Everything is a gift and a curse, because when we were on lockdown, I had way more time to make way more videos. Now that we're fully open, I don't have as much time as I used to, because of being at work more and being on the road more. That's one thing that um I can say with sincerity that I love about the lockdown, is not having to get on the highway as much, especially when you see the cost of gas and Easy Pass. If you have an Easy Pass in your area, you know what I'm talking about. At the end of the day, it kind of segues into what we are going to be talking about today, because no matter what state you live in now, you're feeling the effect of inflation. No matter what state you live in right now, you're feeling the effects of inflation. Um, I think the people that aren't feeling it as much are people who, one, don't have kids, don't have student loan debts, don't have a car payment, and don't have a high mortgage payment, or don't even have a mortgage at all. So those are the 5 things. I always say, it's like now the Gordon Ramsay lifestyle for regular everyday working people is becoming more and more of a realistic thing. Now, people really started to feel the economic pinch last year in 2023, but me personally in 2024, I've seen everything just go up, 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 and up. So because of the pinch, now, like I said, because of the pinch, I'm not, the cost of food, gas, if you have a high mortgage payment, if you have a high rent payment, most likely your rental payment's going up. People's insurance and personal property taxes are going up. So even if you were smart enough, like a lot of people, including myself, getting the 2 to 3% home loan during the pandemic, or before the pandemic, when interest rates are very low, you're still paying below what somebody's paying if they're buying a house at 8 to 10% interest rate. But your personal property taxes are going up because of inflation, and your home insurance is going up because of inflation. So either way, you're going to feel the pinch a little bit. If you have kids, you're definitely going to feel the pinch, because today, for the food that I bought at the grocery store, is $133. So, and that's just majority of the stuff I got was for me. So what does that tell you? But especially if you live in a place like California, if you live in a place like New York, and now the DMV area, you are feeling the economic pinch. Like I can speak for, and with New York, the cost of living has always been horrendous. And California, the same thing. It's so bad in California now that the governor has mandated all fast food workers, the minimum wage is basically $20 now, because that's how expensive things have gotten in California. Homeless population is forever increasing. It's normal for somebody to have a job. California's kind of like gotten like Hawaii, and in a sense like a third world country, to where the middle class is constantly being eliminated. Same thing in New York. The middle class is constantly being eliminated. There's only, you're rich or you're poor for the most part. A lot of people live in, I remember learning about this in Hawaii, because it's so expensive to live in Hawaii, that, it's normal for people to live in a tent and then go work at the hotels. They have homeless camps everywhere in Ohio, but you're starting to see more homeless camps pop up in every major city in the United States of America right now. Now, there's always multiple contributing factors to this. It's not just the cost of living, it's people with mental health issues, substance abuse issues, things of that nature. I told a story on my Instagram where a young, able body young man and young girl came up to me within the last 2 weeks asking for money. And I'm looking at these people, I'm just like, okay, you have cell phones. And I don't know if you're telling me the truth or not, but I'm like, you guys look, you're able-bodied to the point where you can get a job. You know, maybe not the best paying job, but something better than just hanging outside of a gym asking people for money. But that's neither here or there. To the regular everyday working people, it's getting rough. And like I said, I feel the pinch a little bit, and I don't even have children. I don't have a student loan debt. I don't have a car payment. You know, I make a decent living, whether it's me selling products online, my job, rental properties, you know, and I'm starting to see, you know, it's definitely different times right now. So according to CNN, the cost of living continues to stress out American workers, even as inflation eases from four-decade high. 67% of employees say the cost of living is outpacing growth in their salaries and wages, according to the Bank of America survey shared with CNN. That feeling has intensified, rising from 58% in February 2022. That's despite the fact that inflation has cooled considerably over the past year. Now, that's, I don't think inflation has, and this was written back in September of 2023. So it's almost a year old, but it's not a year old yet, this article. But I never used to pay attention to the cost of most of the things I used to buy. I used to go to the grocery store and just pick up whatever. Now I look at the price of every single thing. Looking for coupons for everything. So great example, with my bottle of water, I learned 2 years ago, if you put lemon, cucumber, and green mints within your water, it's a great way to cleanse your system out. You know, healthy for you. You know, all that good stuff. So I went to my grocery store last week, and the cost of the cucumbers that I usually get was $79. And then today I went to the grocery store and it was 89 cents. So within a week's time frame, the cost of the cucumbers that I buy went up 10 cents. So that's inflation for you. And I noticed a lot of grocery stores will put signs up talking about, I guess because they had so many people complaining about the cost of eggs, it was like, it's not our fault that the cost of eggs costs this much. It's due to inflation. I never thought I would see that in the grocery store. Gas going up. It usually seems to always happen when the summertime comes around, because to me it just seems like corporate America can profit off of, they know people are going to be out and about more and people are going to drive more, so therefore they can exceed their profits from the last quarter or from last year. And that's the American way. But yeah, that's just nonsense we're talking about. Yeah, inflation is cool. No, it hasn't. You know, and when they talk about the housing market, it's not cooled as it should. And most people are not trying. You know, that's why the president had to put a tax break out there for people who are going to sell their houses, because people stopped selling their houses because people cannot afford to buy a new home. That's where we're at from an inflation standpoint. But what do I know? Yes, the headline numbers on inflation are supposedly going in the right direction, but it doesn't feel that way. Lorna Sabia, head of retirement and personal wealth solutions at Bank of America, said in an interview, high inflation is a major reason why just 42% of employees say they feel financially well, according to the Bank of America survey. That's the lowest percentage in a 13-year history of the survey. Likewise, 64% of employees say that they are stressed about their finances. Among older millennials, those aged 35 to 44, I'm in that age range, 80% report feeling stressed about money. And women are much more worried than men. Consumer prices increased by 3.7% in August from a year earlier, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics. That's down from 9.1% in June 2022 when gas prices spiked above $5 a gallon for the first time. Even though overall prices aren't going up as fast as they were in June 2022, they are still going up. Everything from eggs, car rentals, to especially a car rental, to a night out at a restaurant. Yeah, if you go on a night out at your most mediocre restaurant on a date, unless it's a fast food joint, you're 90% of the time your bill's going to be no less than $70. So when I say mediocre restaurant, I'm talking about Applebee's, I'm talking about Outback Steakhouse, I'm talking about Chili's, I'm not talking about your well-to-do restaurants for date night. Okay, I'm talking about Ruby Tuesdays, mediocre restaurants and mediocre food. And yes, I can be a food snob at times, but it's going to be, and if you have a couple of drinks, most likely it's going to be $100. Like, you take a date out to the movie. A friend was telling me he spent $80 taking his woman out to the movies. And he had one drink, she had one drink. She had French fries. He got, what did he get? He got chicken tenders with French fries. And then if you add on to the movie tickets itself, he spent $100. So $20 for the movie tickets, or $21 for the movie tickets, and about including tip, $83 for his meal and 2 drinks. So with that being said, it's just like, yeah, that's why, this whole people going to be outside and whatnot this summer. I think a lot of people are going to be like, I can't afford to be outside like that this summer. So I'm going to look for free things to do. Like, especially people have families, like, hey, we'll eat dinner and then we'll go to a park and let the kids go play. And that's free to take them to the park. That most will spend money on just driving them to the park, or maybe we'll walk to the park. Things of that nature. I can just imagine like taking the child to an amusement park like Disney World, Six Flags, or whatever your theme, like the cost of that. Oh my gosh. And that's all, like, especially going to Disney World, Disneyland, that's always been expensive. So Universal Studios, as I said, I see why I see less and less families get on airplanes nowadays, because if it's just a husband and a wife and one child, I won't even say your average 2 to 3, one child, 9 times out of 10 you're gonna spend $1,000 on that flight, depending on the deals that you got, or up to $1,000. Let's just put it like that. But I'll leave it at that. So it says poor marks for Bidenomics. Bank of America survey findings underscore why Americans don't seem to like Bidenomics and are giving President Joe Biden more marks on the economy. I don't care if you're a Democrat or Republican. I'm just reading the article, so I'm very neutral because I really just don't care. Even as unemployment remains historically low, and unemployment is historically low, but what good is your job if you're barely scraping by? Article says the White House is getting more blame than credit for the economy these days. CNN poll released earlier this month showed 58% of the public say Biden's policies have made economic conditions worse. Beyond the political polling, other signs of financial stress have emerged. Credit card debt has surpassed $1 trillion for the first time ever in U.S. history. And see me, I use my credit cards for everything because I like to get air miles and I like to get cashback rewards and things of that nature. But like I pay my bills off, but I've had, like I said, to be personal, I've had the highest credit card debt I've ever had in my life. Just because not because my spending has increased, but because the cost of the goods that I buy and services I have gone up. Okay, so that's the thing to keep in mind. Number one is going to be groceries. Number two is going to be gas. Lord forbid if you have an issue with your car or at your house. Okay, you're going to the amount of money you're going to have to shell out to get a car repair, to get a home repair, it's going to be special. Trust me on that one. Okay. It says 38% of women feel financially well, according to the Bank of America survey. That's a 5-year low, down from 55%. That's a massive decrease. Women are much more stressed out about finances than men. Almost 1 in 4, 23% of women say financial stress is keeping them up at night, compared with just 5% for men, according to Bank of America. Just over half, 54% of the women in the survey worry they won't be able to make ends meet due to inflation, compared with 32% for men. And it's like I said, we're in a sense, we're heading to areas to where people were living like back there in the Great Depression, where it's going to be normal for 5 people to sleep in one bed. Okay. It's going to be normal for, like, especially like if you look at cities like New York, possibly DC, Washington, DC, and all major cities in California. It's normal for 4 or 5 people to share a bedroom. I'm not talking about kids either. I'm talking about adults. Okay. It's normal. That's normal. It's normal for people subletting couches, not just apartments, but couches, bedrooms, floors. Every single piece of space is going to be taken up. Now, do I like it? No, but this is just a reality that is heading towards you if you're not ready. You know, and this is why I've always said, the main reason why I made this channel is because I want to talk about financial issues. And now that I see all this stuff happening for myself, it's like, you know, hopefully you were smart during the pandemic, listening to not just people like me, but other people who are way more, have way more going on in their lives financially, to talk about, hey, the best ways to increase your income, your skill sets, increase your savings, increase your assets. Because especially during times like this, I could sell off certain assets to pay off debts. And that's a beautiful thing. So I can sell off investments or trade investments in order for me to pay off specific debts. Having a good credit score has become way more important now. A lot of people's credit scores are going to be maybe mostly jacked up because of the amount of debt and the delinquency payments that we're living in right now. It's not to play around with. All right. So it says, while 61% of Asian employees say that they feel financially well, just because that community has a great history of owning assets, i.e. businesses and real estate, and paying off real estate loans so that they can take equity lines of credit and get more, grow their business or open a business or buy more real estate. It's culture, and it's a beautiful. That is a beautiful way to that's a beautiful culture to be a part of when people's mindsets are like that. It says 44% of white employees and 40% of Hispanic and 35% of Black say the same, that they feel financially well. But those are low numbers compared to the Asian community, because the Asian community is about making economic moves. So being said that, the message for employers is concerning and underscores why it's critical they arm workers with financial resources such as budgeting tools and advice from professionals. There was a time when companies believed it wasn't their obligation to have employees feel financially well. Companies now realize it has a direct impact on productivity, absenteeism, engagement, and loyalty. In other words, having workers who are financially stressed out isn't good for business. And that's probably the realest statement I read all night. Okay, that is probably the realest statement I've read all night. Okay. Okay, hold on, family. All right, block user. Delete comments. Yeah, sorry, there was a troll who was mimicking my page, so I had to remove the person. So if you see somebody that says Larry's and 39's Anything Goes LLC, that was a troll page. I feel special. I can't believe I have a troll now. And they put a comment about some nonsense about crypto. So if you ever see, I'm never going to hit you up. So let me put that out there. I'm never going to hit you up and say, hey, check this out. If it's not a link that's not on in my description of my videos, it's not from me. So let me just make that very clear right now. That's why I was like, oh, somebody commented. Oh, it's a troll. So I'm glad I just saw that once I got my point across. So yeah, I'll leave it at that. But it's serious out here, and it's going to get more serious. And if you don't take it seriously, then I can't do nothing for you, man. As Flavor Flav would say during the Public Enemy days. All right, paycheck to paycheck is going to be the new norm. 3 to 5 families living in one place is going to become the new norm in most metropolitan areas. Overcrowded neighborhoods and suburbs is going to be the new norm. That's the norm in the suburb I grew up in Woodbridge, Virginia. All the neighborhoods are overcrowded, especially the older developments. The new developments, not so much because it's so overpriced, but yeah, that's how bad it's gotten out here. So there was the main reason what inspired me to even go live tonight. There was this article out here. It's called "Death of the Middle Class" by Steve Burns. All right, it says the gradual decline of middle class in America, once the foundation of the nation's economic and social stability, signals a systemic shift in the fabric of society. This demographic, long celebrated as of the American dream, now confronts a reality marked by diminishing financial security and growing economic disparities. The critical issues uncovers the diverse factors driving these unsettling trends, expanding wealth gap and housing affordability crisis, the escalating cost of home ownership, and the struggle of full-time workers barely making ends meet. And that's the thing. It's like, so I grew up in Woodbridge, Virginia. This is part of Prince William County, Virginia, which is about 35 minutes south from Washington, D.C., without traffic. A friend of mine who's a real estate agent, she's selling a house in Manassas, and she's selling it for $780,000. She's representing the person who's selling it for $780,000. Now, I'm not mad. I'm sure that someone will buy it. And I noticed with this property, it has a lot more land, so that is a plus. It's not a part of a smaller development. But most regular working people cannot afford they most likely could not qualify for that kind of loan, especially with the high interest rates that we have now. And two, even if they could, most likely they could not maintain the mortgage payments. So that's what the times we're living in right now. The average house for most people is no less than $300,000. And if it's under $350,000, if it's under $300,000 in most major metropolitan areas, 9 times out of 10 it's going to be a condo. So and then it's like your average rent about $1,800 to $2,000 around the nation, and more working people are going to be forced to live in smaller rural communities, just for pure economic reasons, not just because they like living in a small town. That's where we're heading. And every time I make a video like this, it's like, hey, I think it's in one's best interest, if they can, buy a house in a small town that has nothing going on, so that you have a house that you can pay the mortgage off as a backup plan. Something to think about. Okay, something to definitely think about. All right, so this article touches on a lot of things. It's shedding light on the realities of what the middle class in America is facing today. The decline of the U.S. economy, in a sense. And like I said, this has had nothing to do with politics at the end of the day. Because if Trump was in office, or Howdy Doody or Kermit the Frog was in office, I'd be talking about the same stuff. So I'm just talking about pure numbers here. That's what people always lose sight of. So they talk about areas that are shrinking. There's a growing wealth gap. The rich are getting richer and the poor is getting poorer. That's always been the thing. The owners of assets are getting almost all the rewards in the economy, i.e. real estate, i.e. cryptocurrency, i.e. stocks, bonds, things of that nature. And once, all those checks that was being pushed out, and those people that were getting the highest paid unemployment that they ever gotten in history, in U.S. history, that was the time to buy assets. Like I just mentioned earlier, I can sell off certain assets because of the amount of dividends that I've been getting, or sell off portions of the dividends to where I can pay off a lot of debts or buy more assets and whatnot, because I did the prudent thing during the lockdown. All that extra money I was saving, because I wasn't going anywhere, putting it in the savings account, putting it into assets. Number 2, types of housing that's being built are either luxury apartments / homes, or low-income housing like mobile homes with the lack of affordable middle-class housing being constructed. Even mobile homes now cost over $100,000, and this is true. And the thing to take into consideration is most of your major housing developments, they're correct. They're mostly condos or townhomes like this, and if they are single-family homes, the single-family homes got like this much space between them. Literally that much space between them, because the developers are trying to get the biggest bang for their buck in regards to land. Number 3, luxury condos costing $1.4 million are being built in older neighborhoods that used to have $200,000 homes, pricing out the original residents through gentrification. Number 4, whereas a household income of $65,000 to $70,000 allowed you to buy a house 5 years ago, you need to make $120,000 due to rising prices to afford your average home. A lot of people that are never going to become homeowners in today's economy if things continue to be where they're at right now, unless I always say they have the immigrant mindset where they put their dollars together and the family operates like a corporation. But I'm just talking about your regular everyday working American who's trying to just do it on his own, her own, with the family, with a spouse, as a couple, they're going to have it much harder. The middle class people, termed ALICE, assets, limited income constrained employee. I love it. Can't afford basic needs, food, shelter, and transportation on their income despite working full time. It takes $100,000 annual income or more in many areas of the country to break even. This is true. We definitely know that this is true in the DMV area. We definitely know this is true in New York. We definitely know this is true in Florida and California. Parts of Texas too, all the major cities. Houston, Dallas, Austin. It's not just the West Coast and the East Coast, family. It's Atlanta, Nashville, Tennessee. It's hit the South. Charlotte, North Carolina, Raleigh, North Carolina. It's hit eventually Charleston, South Carolina. You can't escape. I said this years ago, and I keep saying it. I repeat myself religiously. You cannot escape gentrification. All right. More people are resorting to living with roommates in RVs or in their cars because they can't afford rent, even while making what used to be middle-class salary of around $74,000. And one thing I can tell you, I've been throughout this whole country the last couple of years, and the homeless population has gone up tremendously. And I don't care if you're in LA, Houston, Dallas, Atlanta, Phoenix, Las Vegas. I've seen the homeless population go up. I'm going to Seattle in a couple of days. And they already had a big homeless population, so I can imagine what it looks like now. Rising home costs, stagnant wages, high fixed mortgage, high fixed home ownership costs, and a lack of affordable housing construction are squeezing out the middle class. And I don't think that's talked about enough with the new construction, how it's not really meant for middle class workers. It's really, like I said, I understand the low income housing because you need that, but if you're not in the low income bracket, you're not in the luxury income bracket, but you're in the middle class income bracket, you're getting squeezed out, no matter where you live at. It talks about the growing wealth gap. The article. A critical factor in the erosion of the middle class is the widening wealth gap. The rich are accumulating wealth at unprecedented rates, while the poor and increasingly middle class are left with stagnant wages, fewer company benefits, and facing layoffs more and more. This disparity is primarily due to stagnant wages that have not kept pace with the living costs for years. Consequently, many families find themselves struggling to maintain middle-class lifestyle. Additionally, the economic rewards of the current era predominantly favored assets owners, leaving living wage earners with a diminishing share of the financial pie, and even losing buying power in much sectors of the economy due to inflation. So it seems like it's repeating itself, the article. But at the end of the day, because I'm about to end this video off, and like I said, I just said this a bunch of times. At the end of the day, if you're not, there's still great opportunities out here in America. That's what I said. Don't get it twisted. But if you're alone, meaning you're not in a relationship, you don't have family and friends around that could help support you, you're in a very big, vulnerable position. Especially if you have student loan debts, if you have a high car payment, so that's definitely going to suck you dry financially. And just moving to Texas is not going to save you. And there's only certain states that are left, especially like I said, for my remote workers and my people who have a skilled trade where they can go anywhere. I remember, and they were talking about this on Market Monday. There's like, if you go to the places that you go to, if you really want to save money, there's places that really don't have that much happening. They're nice places, but they don't have that much happening, like Alabama, Mississippi, Arkansas, Ohio, Indiana, Michigan, more of the rural states. Because then your cost of living will go down, but then you have to live there. In West Virginia, do you want to live there? I can't answer that question, only you can. So, but on the last note, before I call this a night, it says alternative living arrangements are on the rise. As a result of these financial pressures, many are resorting to non-traditional living arrangements. Increasing number of people shared accommodations with extended family or roommates. Like I said earlier, living in RVs or cars, traditional housing becomes unaffordable. The trend is particularly notable among those earning what was once deemed a middle-class salary. Such drastic measures highlight the extent of the housing affordability crisis and the impact on the middle class. Many in the middle class could benefit from living with extended family, like parents sharing the bills further, or buying duplexes where they live half and rent the other half to family. And that's how people used to live back in, during and before the Great Depression. That's how a lot of people live in Europe, to be honest with you, and even other third world countries. Navigating economic challenges on a middle class income. And these challenges, exploring strategies for managing a middle class income is essential. Prudent financial planning, budgeting, and exploring alternative income streams can offer some relief. Adapting to the changing landscape may also involve reevaluating housing options, seeking more affordable locations, or considering shared housing arrangements. The key is to remain flexible and open to new ways of maintaining a middle class lifestyle in an ever-evolving economic environment. And at the end of the day, it's really, especially for, like I said, the folks that are in the 35 and up age range, it's really just going to boil down to how were you living before inflation got crazy? Meaning, did you have the mindset of trying to put money away? Did you have a mindset of trying to invest your money into things? Were you working on your credit to make sure your credit is good to go? Are you trying to increase your income? What do you do on your off time? Do you just mess around on social media, talking to people about sports and politics, or, you know, trying to hit on people online. Because if you're wasting time, that's just you're wasting time. If you're not making money off of doing that, then you're wasting time. So, you know, you got the one job, or you're part of the gig economy? Are you doing DoorDash and Uber Eats on the side? Only you can answer that question. Did you get a second job so that you can put some more money away? And during the lockdown, did you even think, or before the lockdown, did you even think about becoming a homeowner so that you can change the trajectory of how you spend your money monthly and where you live at? There's so many contributing factors when it comes down to it. But I don't have all the answers. I made some suggestions, and, you know, you can go from there. And for the love of God, don't just have oopsie babies in 2024 moving forward. Okay, if you're gonna have sex, wrap it up. Take your birth control, whatever you have to do. You're gonna have a child. Like a friend of mine's wife is like 2-3 months pregnant, but they planned on having this baby. They wanted to have another baby, but then COVID happened. Plus, they just moved into the new house, so I get it. So they planned this. Plus, the husband, he makes almost $200,000, and the wife makes a living as well. But I digress. So on that note, family, hopefully you guys enjoyed this. If you have any tips on what middle class people can do in 2024 to increase their income, decrease their savings, increase their assets, so that they can live a better, more fruitful life, leave it in the comment section. I'm not going to act like I know it all. I don't. But I know what I know, and I know what I don't know, and I know that people, they want to succeed, they have to think outside of the box. They have to live outside of the box. And that's where we're at right now. You know, shared spaces, people living in the cars. I remember reading articles a couple of years ago about RV parks, where a lot of people who have sold everything, the couples live in an RV, they work for Amazon, and they live in RVs, and it's like out in the middle of nowhere in like Arizona, Colorado. You know, it's becoming the new norm for a lot of people because retirement's becoming a thing of the past. Because remember, retirement has nothing to do with age. Retirement has everything to do with income. So let's try to get it together, family. That's all I can say at this point. So do the great three things: like, share, and subscribe. Have a great night. Like I said, this will be my last live until I get back from Seattle, Portland, and Vancouver. So I'm looking forward to this trip. Definitely needed. And, you know, we're going to make it do what it do. On that note, family, I'm out. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Larry's Anything Goes. Hopefully you're having a great day. If you've been watching Larry's Anything Goes programming, you know that we are not only providing great financial intelligence content as much as possible by interviewing other financial professionals, professionals in the travel industry, real estate industry, etc., and so forth, but we provide various services when it comes to specific products that we sell, from anything that you would actually find on Amazon or actually at Walmart, etc., and so forth. And we are actually providing specific products due to today's current crisis and whatnot to ensure that we provide the right services and products that you need at a reasonable price when it comes to medical face masks, when it comes to hand sanitizer, and when it comes to latex gloves and things of that nature, and etc., and so forth, toilet paper, paper towels. But we have what you need. Also, family, don't forget that Larry's Anything Goes is a part of an affiliate marketing network known as Gold Standard Partners, where you have the opportunity to buy cryptocurrency and allow others to invest with you as becoming an affiliate marketing partner. And obviously, if they purchase a package with the program, you're able to make money off their package purchases and make money off of their crypto purchases and things of that nature. If you want to join, please follow the links in the description, and I'll give you a call as soon as you sign up and purchase a package, and we'll go from there. But definitely, it's all about the best way to make money moves is to have currency with one another and to ensure that currency is always being spoken of on all levels, so it benefits everyone and not just one specific person. That's a lot of things that people forget about. So think about joining the program, and we'll be able to go from there. But if not, either way, it's always appreciated. And thank you for watching, and hopefully you guys have a great day and continuously make money moves so you don't live broke like a fool. Take care. As you can see, with our various products, we have our financial apparel, as you see, wearing There's Anything Goes t-shirt, financial intelligence is sexy, face masks, latex gloves, things of that nature, to obviously ensure the safety of you and your family all at the same time. We want to ensure that you get the best products and see the actual products that we're actually providing for you, and giving you another view of not only the shirts and the medical masks, but actually another view of actual latex gloves and the actual hand sanitizer. Because one thing we've learned throughout this unfortunate crisis is that we have to take more precautionary measures to ensure not only the safety for ourselves, but for our families. And having a great pair of hand sanitizers, latex gloves, and medical face masks will ensure that safety. And with all that being said, hopefully you guys will check out our online store. We have the various products that you see here. With a couple of clicks, especially if you're paying via PayPal, it makes life that much easier for you to purchase our various products, especially during this unfortunate situation. You see the apparel from Larry's Anything Goes. We have the medical products when it comes to hand sanitizer, latex gloves, medical face masks, things of that nature, and various other products. So please check out Larry's Anything Goes. Support small local businesses. We greatly appreciate it, and hopefully that you have a good day.